Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball. The stove is warming up. We've got a Yankees trade for a pitcher, Hall of Famer traded, and we got some rumors. $50 million. Let's talk ball. Shane Bieber.
Ernie Clement.
Toronto. Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball, presented to you by SeatGeek. I'm Jake Storielli. That is Trevor Plouffe. We got Bobby Golf's, Rob Sirocco producing. Dalton Feely's birthday. Watch out in the DMs. Whether that's Diamondback rumors or the ladies. A happy birthday to Dal as he's updating the sheet live. Who knows? We could have something break, even though we're not live for you, but I guess it would be live for us. Coach Trev, we both had nice little off-season days yesterday. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. I can't wait to hear about yours.
Yeah,
I had a little golf yesterday. Tough course. Played Sherwood with my good buddy Mike Moustakis and our mutual friend Cole Tucker. Shout out Cole Tuck. I'm so like, I don't practice golf enough. I think I have some natural ability.
Nice.
Couple birdies, lipped out for eagle on a really tough par 5, which was fun. But yeah, good times were had, man. I'm curious to hear about your day.
Yeah, I went to see
one on 18. These greens are slippery. Look how he barely hits this thing.
Look at the hands, Malibu Mike.
It's a tap right here, Coach.
By the way, as athlete Instagram handles go, Moose Tacos, that's good. That's really good.
He's one of a kind, man.
Also, if you see me turning my head a lot this episode, my screen I normally look at Trev at died right before the show. So if I'm trying to look at that handsome face, might be some head turns.
Oh, you're looking just into the camera, not even at me now.
Yeah, dog. I'm flying blind right now. I'm, Star Wars.
I can do all sorts of stuff right now.
Luke Skywalker. I can kind of see. Hey. Hey. I went, you went. This is a baseball program. We have to remind ourselves. You were with Mike Moustakis, legendary baseball player. I was watching Bernie Williams at Carnegie Hall perform with Jonathan Tettleman, who's like a full-blown opera guy. Full-blown. And I'll tell you what, it was kind of powerful. Watching a guy like that actually sing in person, kind of shut down the crowd. Crowd was great. A lot of Yankee fans just showed up because it was like Bernie Williams. That like a Bernie Williams chant broke out before the show, which I don't think that happens at Carnegie Hall a lot. And yeah, it was I don't know. It's a classy little Tuesday night for the little guy. So I don't know. Trying to class up during the offseason before we start getting into the grindy. It's August. We're watching Royals Reds. As they compete for both Centrals. What? Trevor, we have some baseball news. It's not, I don't know. I don't know if we've got a 20-minute get lost in it topic, but between, some of the rumors, Kyle Tucker getting some big boy AAV offers, Bichette flirting with some teams. We also, I mentioned, Hall of Famer traded Nolan Arenado to the D-backs, and I think there's some fun, interesting stuff there. Ryan Weathers, who's, I don't know, wasn't on anyone's really trade map, but he ends up with the Yankees. What does that mean? Trev, I have to address something. Because it was the first thing I saw Jimmy O'Brien after we recorded last episode. And he asked me, how did it go talking about Max Kepler? And I said, wow, I forgot. So the people need to hear from you because he's been on your hot boy list every year. You've known him since he was like a 16-year-old German boy. Where are we at, dude?
That one hurt for sure when I heard the news come across. Max and I, we don't talk all the time. Obviously, I know him, and I love Max Kepler. I truly do. I think he's a phenomenal human being. I don't know what happened, Coach. I don't know what happened. My best guess, because I haven't texted him about it, and I'm sure he wouldn't be like going to detail with me, or maybe he would. I don't know.
Yeah. My
best guess is he got offered some sort of like supplement and took it, and without really knowing. And what's the saying there? Like, ignorance doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're. That's not the saying.
That's not a saying.
That's not the saying.
That's not a saying. Ignorance is bliss. That's the only ignorance.
Yeah, there's
saying
another one I
know.
can't remember right now. I don't think Max Kepler knowingly took something, but I could be wrong too, Coach. You know, I've been around some guys now that have taken some stuff, and
Some rumors about you online.
You've been threatening me.
I just
am I the guy?
I need to defend my guy, and now I don't know.
No, man. I told you. Look, it's even more impressive that I'm the cleanest guy in sports.
Right.
I don't know. I will text. I promise the people this. I will text Max Kepler what the hell happened today. See if I get a response. This is my take on steroid guys. Guys that get popped. I don't like it at all. In fact, I do think a little less of you when you get popped for steroids. That's just the facts, people. I've come to terms now with like you can separate like, is this guy a good dude and is he not? I think there's still that with me. I'm still friends with Ryan Braun. We had a year off from our relationship after that. That one really cut me deep. That was like my guy, my mentor, my workout partner in the off season. But now I'm back and we're really good friends. Nice. So I guess I can forgive. Can I forget?
Never forget. All right. I don't know if the listeners like that at all. I don't know. I kinda.
What's your take on it?
I guess I don't know. I jumped to baseball. I don't know if I can ever believe a guy if they're like, I had no idea. Like, right? Like we did that with Tatis. We do that with all these guys that I don't know, man. It's part of your job as a professional athlete to be very cautious about what's going in your body. For me, I flash forward to the baseball side to it. They're like, he's a free agent and he has to serve a suspension. So like, is he going to get signed by a team for cheap? And they hope that he might give them something for a couple months. Will he like dip out of this season? Will he dip out of baseball? I don't know.
I don't think so, Coach. I don't know what it means. I will say this. I think in my mind, at least, there's a difference of a guy taking something and then him benefiting from it. Like if a guy takes something and like has his best offensive year, best overall year, I'm like, what the heck, man? Jerkson Profar comes to mind.
Yeah, I was wondering if you'd say it.
I don't think Max Kepler benefited from this whatsoever. A lot of people are pointing it out. Bad, like whatever you took, bad, didn't work.
Could Montas?
And is that weird to think that way? It probably is. It's probably the wrong way
I mean, I get what you're saying.
Bad kids, like you don't need it.
Kids, if you're listening, don't do drugs.
Protein and hard work, man.
Yes.
Eat some meat. Lift some weights. Have some confidence.
I'm glad that's just out there now. I don't want the people saying we ran away from the topic.
Still handsome.
And yeah.
I still gotta do an updated list, man. I found some this girl on Instagram that like rates like players. She basically says like smash or pass on like baseball players.
Sure.
I think I'm gonna like invite her to be on my panel.
Okay.
And get that out. I've been promising that for like a year now. I'm gonna do it. People are waiting.
Stay tuned. Coming up, Trevor Plouffe and someone on Instagram rating MLB
I should
players.
get her name. I don't know. I think I followed her.
We'll research that. Nolan Arenado is traded, which depending which year of this show we were doing it, would be a massive topic. I think the details are kind of the interesting thing here because Nolan Arenado, if you don't know, if you got lost with Cardinals baseball, which I've already apologized to Cardinals fans. They had that, there was a little bit in summer where it was like they were around 500 and in the race, and then I didn't keep track of them. Like, I owe Matt Svanson an apology in their bullpen. He was absolutely nails, and I wasn't locked in to Matt Svanson. I also wasn't locked into where Nolan Arenado's final season stats landed, because it might not be what you expect from the 10-time Gold Glove winning, 8-time All-Star, 6-time Platty. Jesus. Nolan Arenado gets traded and $31 million for Jack Martinez, who's a not-ranked prospect in the D-backs organization. So this is a full-blown money dump for 2 years. Nolan Arenado at $5 million and $6 million. The Snakes bring him in. He waives his no trade clause. I guess there's two conversations here. What does this mean for Dalton's Diamondbacks going forward? Also, St. Louis. I mean, Heim has fully cleared the cupboard. But I guess where do you jump, Coach Trev?
Where do you want to start? I mean, I guess let's go with Arizona first because that's where he's going. Arizona gets like the opposite of Eugenio Suarez at third base right now, a guy that's going to, play still very, very solid defense. I could see him having a great defensive season. He is that guy. So you get that out of Nolan Arenado. Now, obviously, the offense is ticked down. I went back and looked at this guy's stats. He had some banger offensive seasons.
Yeah.
Like in the nines, coach. This guy is obviously legit. It's gone down. It's continued to go down over the last 3 seasons. So offensively, I don't think you can expect a ton. I think he will profile a little bit better in Arizona, especially to the pull side. So you can dream upon maybe a bump in offense from last year. I think he's still an above average player that you're getting at $5.5 million. You can think of him as some sort of a stopgap before some of the other guys, some young guys kind of come up and take over that spot. But if you're asking me, do I want Nolan Arenado at third base for $5.5 million for a couple of years? I'm going to say yes to that. And you start thinking about that infield, man. Like that's a great defensive infield. Him, Perdomo, Marte. Like I'm about this move for the Diamondbacks. Now, if the money was different and you're sitting there with what the Cardinals were looking at and you're paying him that, then it's a different discussion. But I think if you're the Diamondbacks and you get him, like I said, for $5.5 a year, veteran leader, maybe a tinker with the swing a little bit mechanically. He's always had an interesting swing to me. It's kind of like pushy a little bit where I think the timing has to be right and you have to have quicker hands. He's never had like great bat speed, or at least since they've been tracking it. And I went back and looked. But there can be some things that you could do. Like I said, I think you can try to maximize pull potential in that park and see if you get a little bit more. But I think it's kind of we've been seeing this quite often. It seems to me like a win-win where Arizona's giving up a guy who hasn't even thrown a pitch in professional baseball for, a guy that's going to be a solid third baseman for them at a cheap price.
Yeah, I think if we're okay, let's zoom out to some kind of non-baseball stuff that you and me like and still matters. Like the fact that I still defend statements like this. Hey, the fact that the Arizona Diamondbacks will have Nolan Arenado as part of their organization, kind of cool. Maybe he takes a kid under his wing and teaches him something. He's Nolan Arenado. Like his peak as a third baseman goes toe-to-toe with anyone who's ever played the position. So, yeah, I'll take that guy in my org, especially, for what the minimum you're going to pay a potential starting baseball player, $5 million basically. Hey, let's see. And he leaves Bush, which is one of the toughest players for right-handed hitters to have power at. And maybe a change of scenery, and maybe Arizona that's just traditionally been a decent place to hit, and maybe being down in the lineup a little bit. And there's still stuff you can dream of. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I started this out. His year-end numbers, 237, a 289 on base, a 666, sign of the devil. OPS, career lows for a guy 34 turning 35. Not what you want. Chase rate, worst of his career. Walk rate, worst of his career. He was still making contact, and the BABIP was a career low that, again, I think you and I are bet on talent guys. That's what we've done our entire lives, is that, like, there's still talent in Nolan Arenado. It's just, what can he do? Could Nolan Arenado have he taps into more contact? Could he bail in that? Maybe the strikeouts go out, but he does hit 20 homers next year. Or later in his career, could he just become a verse lefty guy? And then, hey, if Nolan Arenado's out there against righties, you still know you're getting solid defense and you might get a good at bat at some point in the game. I think there's very little risk for Arizona at this price tag. I do agree. I mean, the upside seems limited. We're doing a little pie in the sky right now. And if you're St. Louis, they're clearly moving on as an organization from William Contreras, Sonny Gray, Paul Goldschmidt, Nolan Arenado, that it was time for Nolan and St. Louis to move on. And Arizona, you're taking a flyer on a Hall of Fame type guy that, yeah, why not?
Is this now two organizations that have paid for Nolan Arenado to leave?
Hey, it hasn't been the biggest Rockies offseason. The Rockies, they got critiqued pretty bad for that trade at the time. I still think you could look at some of the players or the fact that they did any money, but they were kind of ahead of this, right?
Well, yes, he also had some really nice seasons in St. Louis.
Yes.
I mean, he put up a 7-9 WAR in 2022.
Third in MVP, yeah.
Yeah, so they got some value out of it, so they got out. Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what else there is to say about Arenado and like kind of the Diamondback side of this. I think we kind of hit it all. I don't know what like overall, it is a very low risk, probably like moderate reward if we're being honest.
Right.
Kind of move for them.
Yeah.
On the Cardinal side, I mean, look, I think I don't know if it's more interesting, but I think it's more drastic what's going on there in St. Louis. I mean, Chaim Bloom is coming in. He's convincing all these guys to give up their no trade clause, basically by saying like, hey, like we're not going to be good. Like we're going young.
Yeah.
That's how you convince guys to give their no trade clause. Just say, hey, like, do you want to be here? Like when this is going down? I mean, there were 8.5 games back by July, like 19th last year. They're going young. That roster is very, very young. They want to, the accounts are, the quotes out there is, I mean, Chaim Bloom came out and said we're not in a spot we want to be in. What are we looking at? Is that Chaim Bloom?
Yeah, that's Chaim Bloom at the winter meetings.
Yeah. Brett Phillips. Nice.
I was talking with Rosie about this. I think as a St. Louis Cardinals fan, you're like, why did last year happen? If this was going to happen when Chaim Bloom came in, like why didn't we start this process a couple of years ago then? If we knew, like Chaim came in, we knew he was eventually going to take over. He's from the Rays. I mean, this is kind of his MO. Like he wants to go young. He wants to focus on development, all these things. Okay, that's great. But like, why did we wait then? Why did we wait to do that? And so I think Chaim came out and he was very honest in this interview that he did, saying like, yeah, this is not a great spot to be in. We want to get this done as soon as possible. I think if you're a Cardinals fan, it's at least you appreciate the honesty, but I feel like you haven't been in this situation very often where you're just looking up at a season and saying, well, we're not going to be competing, essentially. I don't see a world where the Cardinals are competing for the NL Central, do you, in 2026?
I mean, it's hard to dream that with where the Brewers have been as a franchise, with what the Cubs are doing, like the Reds' potential we always ooze over. Even
the Reds made the playoffs last year.
Like if you had to pick the Pirates or the Cardinals right now, I think people are taking the Pirates.
I keep hearing about this Connor Griffin guy.
Yeah, you do. Because
he is like legit. I gotta see it.
You're on Instagram rating hot baseball players.
Oh yeah, I sent Rob the girl that I want
to
invite. Her name's Ganju Swag.
Excuse me.
And she rates all the baseball players. She's pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah. So Ganju Swag collab season. Me and you,
Wow.
We'll talk hot guys. We'll figure it out.
Our social team is going to be excited for that one. What was I think I had one more. Was it Cardinals or was it D-backs? I guess I was going to say with the Cardinals, they did try to trade Arenado last year. He blocked the trade to Houston. So I guess in a way they were kind of, but they also had that dueling GM set up, and they just told Chaim to deal with the minor leagues. I don't know. I don't know if it's right. I hope in 4 years we're talking about it's the right thing, but also, I don't know. Cardinals fan, Chaim didn't get enough time last time. Interested to see, and I guess the other thing that other baseball teams are curious about, Brendan Donovan, who's been a trade rumor, is he next? But he's not a salary dump.
He's gone, coach. Yes, Of course he is.
Okay,
like that's happening.
But that, for Cardinals fans at least, that would have a little more excitement to it, because I think that that would net some actual prospects you can hope to dream of. As Donovan's been just a good hitter in this league. That interested to see what goes on there. Some Cardinals fans kind of came at me because they're like, dude, Mason Wynn, like not Lars Nootbaar. And it's like, yeah, guys, I want to. Yeah.
Mason Wynn's winning. He is.
Mason Wynn's winning. We do support him. Snakes. Okay. Let's go.
Let the kids play. That's what they're doing.
Nolan Arenado throws his arm around Jordan Lawler, and we're talking about his number getting retired. Nolan's at the ceremony. Maybe getting ahead of myself a little bit there. But J.J. Weatherholt, St. Louis, get excited. Let's go. There was a trade with the Yankees. I haven't even done talking Yanks yet, Trev. This is raw opinions. And they are brought to you by our friends at DraftKings, the DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Big weekend. Trev's going to be there. Watch out, Chicago. Are you a Chicago guy? Yeah, you are. We've talked about that. Yeah.
Love Chicago.
That's my bad. Well, say hi to Trev if you see him, or say hi to the DraftKings Sportsbook. They've got their early exit protection, so if you make a player prop and they get out injured in the first half, you're still paid in cash. And new customers, $5 bet. If your bet wins, you get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use code JAMBASEBALL. Code JAMBASEBALL. Turn $5 into $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Trev, the New York Yankees acquire Ryan Weathers, son of a Yankee. Ryan Weathers, who was slotted to be in the Marlins rotation. You might remember him from San Diego. I think his bullet point that a lot of baseball fans, at one point he was the youngest player in the league. He's 26 now. He gets traded for a handful of prospects, 4 of them. Brandon Jones, Dylan Lewis, Jasso, 2 Dylans spelled differently, and Juan Mathias. Weathers has 3 years of control. He makes $1.35 million. He's dealt with some injuries, has lefty arm talent, which is something this league will always be hunting for. And yeah, I think, I don't know, as far as trading for a major league pitcher goes, I don't know. I guess I want to hear what you say, Trev. Yankee fans have just been thirsty for any news, so I guess I'm still seeing where I land on this.
I mean, I don't think this can be the move that you guys
Correct.
make. I think it is a valuable move. 3 years of control, an option also, which is, I don't know if that's going to be exercised ever, but you can. So there's flexibility, not only in that, but the fact that this guy can make starts, he can go into the bullpen if you need it. Reading some of our pitching guys, Saris is my guy. Even though he acted like he didn't know me, that hurt. That hurt my feelings at the winter meetings. He made a good point. He's starting to throw close to his max velo, so that is more stress on the arm. He has dealt with injuries before. Can he be a viable bullpen piece for the Yankees? And I think, look, if you have a guy that can make starts for you while you're waiting for Rodon and Cole, and then when they get back can be a multi-inning reliever, if he ticks up in the bullpen like we see from time to time, can he be a guy at the end of the games for the Yankees? Can he be a guy that puts out fires in certain lanes for the Yankees? Then great. Again, I think this is a lot about flexibility and versatility with a guy that has, potentially plus stuff. So I like the deal for the Yankees. I don't really know the prospects they gave up, but I do know that the Marlins have been trying to stack young position players, and they've been doing a banger job of that this offseason. If one thing Peter Bendix is doing, it's stockpiling young position players. Got 4 more right here. So
competition, baby.
I mean, they're doing it. So yeah, for the Yankees, again, if it's the move, I don't love it, but I think it's just a move during the offseason. I'm in on it. I'm in on it. I think that they also believe they can. Everyone thinks they can fix everybody.
I can. Fix
every organization thinks they're the best at that. So I'm curious to see what they do with the pitch mix, all these things. But I like it, Coach. I do.
Yeah, I think there's a couple things. The Yankees love the grouping of prospect trades. Hey, yeah, take 4 guys of our outside of our top 14 prospects. Like, knock yourself out, and if something clicks good for you, they like covering themselves risk-wise that way. And then, yeah, I mean, Ryan Weathers, you're getting a major league arm talent, a lefty that sits 97. And the Yankees, one of the things they're juggling right now is they have Cole and Rodon slated to come back during the season in May and June projected. And hey, let's see, injuries or one delay, you don't know what you're going to get. The I think the stat that Talkin Yanks put out yesterday, that's where I get my Yankees news. The Yankees now have 10 guys who have MLB starting experience, going to Paul Blackburn, Ryan Yarborough, Luis Heel, Will Warren, a couple other guys in there. That Ryan Weathers, they probably, like a lot of guys, you would have him stretched out coming into spring. If he's looking good, you have him start. And then if a Rodon comes back and Cole comes back, you see where your other injuries are. But the Yankees got very left-handed hitting-wise last year, and I started giving speeches, and I was like, oh, that makes me nervous about when those high-leverage lefties come into the game. If you look around the league, there's not a ton of high-leverage lefties. I mean, Aroldis Chapman's rebirth to kind of seal his Hall of Fame career. You've got Josh Hader, and then you start Adrian Morejon, Gabe Spire. I don't want to put these guys down. Gabe Spire, Team WBC. Let's go, Gabe.
That's my team.
That's your team. I'm sorry. Let's go Italy. Matt Strom, Robleski, Ferrer, who got traded this offseason. Like, it's just, there's not a lot of guys that have a lefty coming in. Vesia deserves some more love. A lefty coming in the game that you're like, damn, like, we're screwed. Like, again, I guess a little bit of it is a math equation. But let's say Ryan Weathers, who might be another injury away from teams being like, hey, you might want to look into the bullpen. If Ryan Weathers, if that 97 turns into 98 or 99 out of the pen with a slider, you might have a dude out of the bullpen, which, again, for this prospect package that you don't have even one guy circled of like, he could burn us. I think any fan base would like this, so I like it.
Immediately my mind went there with him is, again, when you have a guy that can do all those different roles, which I believe is the future of pitching, I think teams really want that. They're going to start to value guys that can throw multiple innings out of the bullpen. And then you get the bonus fact that, hey, like you're right, if this stuff does tick up, which it has, you could see him being a guy that either comes in that lefty lane or possibly closes games out for you. If we can do this quick, or I don't know if Bobo can do this. He is super producer Rob Sirocco. Dalton Feely had this guy on his breakout pitchers list, and it is his birthday.
Yeah.
Does he want to come on camera and give us his spiel?
Wow. Let's get him ready.
God, that was quick.
He's getting camera ready.
I got to look good on the birthday.
I think there was also some fantasy implications. Cook, Dalton.
It's basically this stuff. I mean, first off, that prior to him getting traded to the Yankees, Miami, they've kind of been just a pitching factory. Their ability to develop pitching has been pretty uncanny. There are some other teams like the Dodgers who've done a really good job with developing these pitchers. But the Marlins, like the guys they've had, Yuri Perez, Sandy, Braxton Garrett prior to him getting hurt had a good year. They've done a really good job of developing some of these pitchers. The Ryan Weathers, lefty, throwing 96, 97. I'm curious to see how the Yankees use him, but prior to him getting traded, I think there's a lot to like. The biggest concern was just his ability to stay healthy. He had multiple injuries in 2025. He missed 3 months during the summer after a lat strain. I don't believe he's thrown over 100 innings in his career in a season. But the stuff, like when you watch him pitch, he's like, man, this guy could be an absolute dude. Some of the numbers aren't the greatest in terms of results, but some of the expected stuff's a lot better. So in 2026, if he starts the year hot, he's someone who could also stay in the Yankees rotation even after Rodon and Cole come back from injury.
And all of that's nice, Dalton, and happy birthday.
Thank you.
Did you send Rob the picture of Weathers getting hit in the head?
I did.
Okay.
That was crazy.
I think that's important for the people to see.
This was prior. This is the same game.
Just rocked.
Yeah.
Just rocked. And he got hurt later this game, right?
That's the game versus the Rays where he suffers that lat strain, too.
That's just a bad day at the office.
I mean, the catch, just like relax. Like, why do they even throw the ball down to second base anymore?
Horrible throw. The catcher should get a warm-up throw. I'm fine with that. And I'll give some real Jake-alytics for the people. There are 2 first-round picks, 7th overall, by the San Diego Padres, now in the Yankees rotation. Max Fried and Ryan Weathers.
Okay.
Yeah.
I could have got that.
Eat it, Chris Rose.
You didn't even give me a chance to guess.
I wasn't going to give you a chance to guess.
People are talking this Dylan Lewis kid up. You said that you didn't even bat an eye at it.
He's got some helium, Trev. I hope he's great, dude. I hope the Yankees regret trading him for a decade. Like, I don't know.
Don't put they don't even give playing time to their outfield prospects. So what does it matter? Just get him out of there.
Caleb Durbin.
Jason Dominguez has been trying to get in the lineup for years.
There's no need for this. The need for this is the Yankees, in a weird way, do and do not have starting pitching depth. That I think the hope would be by midseason, Cole and Rodon are back, and the Yankees would be able to trade from their starting pitching depth, whether that's Luis Gil, a Will Warren, Ryan Weathers, and contribute to whatever they need at the deadline. Who knows if they're even in it at the deadline, Trev?
Luis Gil in the middle of the season for Freddie Peralta, who says no, like Luis Gil in a package.
I mean, there's already some rumors around that. Again, they feel like rumors, but yeah. And hey, I'm not ruling it out. You know, if you're the Yankees and if the Brewers said we want Gil or Weathers and you're getting Freddie Peralta back along with other stuff from the Yankees, like, yeah, you do that. So, I don't know. You brought in a talented MLB arm for a group of minor leaguers. I'm going to sign off on that every day. I sent Jimmy a Slack this morning, which I haven't sent him a Slack since September 23rd of last year. It was the 2017 futures game roster. There was, of the 40 players, there was 7 that if you traded them, you'd be like, crap, we traded a stud. Of the other guys,
dude, yes.
And that's futures game. Like, that's a select crop of the top prospects. And that's
Mitch Enertson, man. I'll always go to Mitch Enertson.
Excuse me?
Houston Astros draftee 2004 comes to the Appy League and absolutely dominated the league. I forget how many games. We played like 40-something games you play in a short season, whatever the heck it was. I think the guy hit like 28 bombs. Like I was like, oh my God, this guy's he's gonna be the best player ever. It's just
was that Mitch Enertson?
Dude, it was the best, man. Little guy, you would have loved him.
Okay.
He had this walk-up song. You got rice cooking in the microwave. Like the whole thing was absurd, Coach. I'm in the middle of the Appalachian Mountains playing baseball as an 18-year-old. Didn't know what the hell was going on. Mitch Enerton's blasting the ball at the ballpark. I didn't know.
You didn't know.
The league is the league, Coach. That's why they call it the show. That's
where, again, if you can make the league at age 20 like Ryan Weathers did, and you're lefty with that arm talent, I'm going to believe in that over the prospects. So we'll see what that turns into for the Yankees, who didn't have a lot of velo pitchers. So again, if he can turn into a bullpen option by the end of the year or the start of the year, you like the upside. I like having that. Let's see, Coach Trev. We haven't discussed the Rob Manfred interview that shook up baseball with Uncle Bobby getting some clips in. We also got some rumors. Kyle Tucker getting offered a ton of money per year. Bichette met with your Phillies. Royals moved the walls in. What do you feel the most passionate about?
I mean, the Manfred stuff is interesting to me. And we are going to get to a point, that we're going to have to start talking about some labor stuff. And I don't know how excited I am to do that, but I think when the commissioner speaks, I think you got to listen a little bit because he does kind of dictate the future of the game in some ways, especially, if they want to implement rules, they can just implement rules. Might take a year to get it done, but they can do that. So I'm interested to talk about him.
Okay, then let's we don't have to be high and tight about it, but we've got do you have the actual sound bites, Bobo? Yeah, okay. Then I crank it, Robbie. You tell me.
You have a preference? Okay.
Just send us down the ship.
All right.
That's not a phrase.
When you have a 162 game season, you have to think all the time and listen to your fans when they're saying, we don't feel like we have a chance to compete.
Right.
Because when people feel like they don't have a chance to compete, they check out on you. 3 other sports have dealt with it by having a rule. You got to spend, everybody talks about the cap piece. The cap piece comes with another piece that, where you have to spend. And I think, mandating a certain level of commitment in terms of spending in the right kind of economic system can be a good thing.
Sorry, I should have teed that up a little bit better.
You're good. I think our fans know what's going on, and I think it's time for Trev's player speech, because you got to read through the lines there that they're going to fight for a salary cap and the players will never do it.
That's the one thing that starting out negotiations with that where it's just been a non-starter for decades now. That's tough. I will say this, just because you have a salary cap does not mean you have parity. Go. I pulled up the NBA standings. I don't watch the NBA anymore since Kobe was out of it.
All right.
The Pacers are 9-31 right now. I don't think they have a chance. Wizards 10-28, Nets 11-26. There are teams that just aren't going to have a chance, and I don't think a cap matters for that. I mean, you can look around football as well. There's a salary cap in football, and if you're a Jets fan, you didn't have a chance. You don't have my QB. You don't have him.
9.
You don't got 9. So I mean, that argument to me is just out the freaking window. Cap does not mean parity. And in fact, if you're talking about Major League Baseball, the fact that we haven't had repeat champions besides the Dodgers now since the Yankees in the end of the 90s, I think that says something about parity. The NFL, for a while it was Patriots or Chiefs were winning the Super Bowl. I don't think it creates parity. Now, I'm interested in ways to make sure we don't have organizations just completely shipping a season. I'm interested in that. I don't think the salary cap is the solution to that. I'd be interested to. So that's what I'm saying. As far as these labor negotiations are going to go, we need to be a little bit more creative than cap and floor.
Yeah, I mean, it's because it's not about that. The Rob Manfred, who works for the owners, wants a cap so they can cap their spending. That's it. And I guess trying to even get to neutral here. And Trev, NBA wise, I think the NBA's put themselves in a weird spot with their cap situation where contracts are getting so big for guys that big threes almost aren't possible in the NBA right now. Obviously they are if you could get there, but the way the cap is set up, which now people are kind of what is this? Is there too much parity? And there's also not. The NBA is in a weird spot right now. I think for baseball, I mean, I would, when Rob Manfred says teams don't feel like they can be competitive, that's a problem. But the fact that they have to pair that argument with a cap, which they don't, but they are going to, it kind of stinks. It kind of stinks because I originally remember fighting you on having a salary cap, and then after seeing the Ohtani contract and what people can do in this sport, the players will never give it up, and there's no reason for them to. That, again, trying to zoom out and trying to be as neutral as possible, even though we're MLB shills now. I
forgot. Sorry.
Because at the end of the day, if you're an owner, you should have a zoomed out perspective of what is best for the league and this crazy asset you own and how's it going to be more valuable in 10 years. That I think being short-sighted on something of needing a floor of, if we get the cap, we can potentially save more money that way. end of the day, the better the product your sport is, that's better for it. And some of these uncompetitive teams right now, like the Pittsburgh Pirates hype train that should be happening right now, instead of lumping them in this conversation, it's horrible for like a great sports town. That, you know, we did the Cincinnati Reds and, oh, they're in on Schwarber because he's from there. Okay. Be on other good players. Like, what are we doing? Unfortunately, that's probably where a lot of these negotiations are going to get caught up. And again, Sports Jake, my original AOL screen name. Like at first I was like, yeah, let's get a floor in there and make the cap massive, right? And then seeing what's happened, I'm not even on that. Like, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, and essentially we have a soft cap already in the league with the competitive balance tax, which is a self-imposed tax that owners did to try to create. That was their thing, to create more parity. I mean, that hasn't really worked at all.
Right.
And then now they're complaining about that.
It's worked for the owners.
It's very well. They're complaining about it.
Crazy.
You know, and a lot of them use that as like I said, like a soft cap. So I think we need to get more creative. I think development is so key in our sport because you basically can't draft your way out of anything. Like you have to be you got to do a great job. The organizations that win in this league, yes, there's some that can outspend, but like the Dodgers, like develop really, really well. People always they never mention that.
Right.
Like they can develop. The Mets are starting to get there as well. And I know they can spend, but they're starting to develop. I think the in the minor leagues, making sure that everybody has the same playing field as far as tech is a start. As far as like that, to me, is going to make the league have more parity than anything. So like I like that. So that's like a creative solution. So I like that aspect of it. But yeah, again, we just got to get more creative. I think once the TV deals get all settled, more than likely there's going to be a large collection of games like that are not available on regional sports networks anymore. They're going to lump all those teams together and probably package them to an Apple, an Amazon, a Netflix, something like that. Once that gets settled and teams are kind of like back in like, hey, we know what we're going to be getting revenue wise from our broadcast deal, I think this talk will kind of go away. But there is a lot of uncertainty with these teams and their broadcasting rights right now that I think that kind of gets them up in arms about like, where are we at in the sport? We need a cap and all this. Like, I think once that gets settled, which I believe is in 2027, all of those deals are up.
I think 28.
28 could be
28. Yeah. That's going to be, and again, we're making educated guesses here, but it's part of the reason that we've been on there's a lot of rumors that this CBA kind of won't be the lockout, drag out, watch out, because baseball is building towards something else, which again, it should be exciting and a little scary that they kind of want to see where the landscape is in 2028 and they want to go from there, which again, I know we're connected at this point, but God, when you go through some of the rules and some of the baseball growth stuff and, hey, you know, having Babe Ruth from Japan and having a monster of a human in New York breaking home run records, that helps. I'll be honest. But, like, there's been a lot of good stuff going on in the sport that I'm very excited to see where the landscape is in 2028, and I'm also a little horrified to see how ugly it gets because that feels like it's going to be the pivot point for the entire sport for the next, 30 years. Dramatic, Jake.
Yeah, I don't on the lockout side of things, I cannot see it happening right now. There's so much momentum. Manfred has done some great things for the sport over the last couple of years. And obviously my tone has changed on what he's brought because he's gotten better. Like, that's the truth. I'll still call him out when I need to call him out, but the pitch clock has been great for the game. The disengagement rule, you can kind of argue that one, but I think bringing athleticism back into the game is exactly what you needed. Banning the shift of the infield. So that's, again, seeing more athletic plays is what you needed. I think that's you have to give Manfred credit there because that goes against what a lot of organizations want to do. I mean, they want to be able to kind of puppeteer the club. Hey, you know about that. I want to put this guy right here because that's what our data says.
What's that mean? What's that mean? You know about being a puppeteer?
I don't really know.
Yeah. No, you said it in kind of a dirty way, and that's just not a dirty phrase. Like, there's a lot of kinks out there. I don't think being operated as a puppet is out there. I don't think it is. I don't
know, man. I think for some reason my mind goes to you and puppets in a weird way.
I think if you keep digging. Okay.
So yeah, I think you have to give credit when credit's due, man.
Do you want to hear him being asked if there will be a lockout after 2026?
Need it.
Yeah.
I came inside at baseball in 1998. We have always played through 5 or 6 rounds of bargaining. We have always played 162 games. Okay. When I came, my goal was to make sure that every time we bargained, we played 162, and that's my goal this time around. I think we have to wait and see how things unfold at the table. We got lots and lots of time to work on it, and the most important thing for fans is certainly my goal to make sure that we played 162 games next year.
Couple things.
Well, could you imagine if he said, like, I don't really care about playing 162?
Yeah,
like,
that's the other.
You can say that.
That's the other thing with some of these quotes. You gotta, read through the lines a little bit. I like him flexing. We've always played 162. Little 2020 asterisk, as we always do. But, and Trev, I don't know. Again, maybe we are getting too flirty with Uncle Rob here. I feel like we need to put it on the map. Like, we need to have beers with it. I kind of like his talking style. Like, when he kind of just lets it go like that. And he's just like, we're playing 162. Like, I don't know. And then I think we could get the real answers out of it.
We've come a long way with Uncle Bobby.
Right? But that's life, people. Leave your heart open. I don't know. God, we're going to be a labor pod again, Trev. God
Speaking
damn it.
of that, Marcus Stroman and I might become friends. And I'll tell you that's for a different episode, maybe off the yeah.
Okay.
So
okay. So just mark that down, people. Coming up.
As far as the 162, I do want to bring that up because there are other talks about like an in-season tournament. Can we just not even talk about that? Like, what?
Ooh, you're out. Okay, that's fun.
Oh my God, I'm so freaking out. Are people into the NBA in-season tournament? And how could you be?
Well, the Knicks hung a banner this year, so yes.
Unbelievable, Coach. I'm like, that to me is a participation trophy. Oh. I thought we were getting rid of those. What are we doing?
I think we've got to table this because I know you watched the plan everyone agreed on that Jimmy O'Brien put together, a.k.a. John Boy. He's into, and I think my guy Smoltzy is leading the way that they have some in-season tournament ideas. I don't know. I naturally land where you land. That I'm less like, this is icky. We're literally making something up for us to care about it, which in a way is also sports. But
does the in-season tournament, if you win it, does it mean anything, or you're just the champion of the in-season tournament?
So in basketball, it means nothing, which that's part of the problem. It's literally to get guys to care more. They get a little extra money, which is nice. The bench guys that aren't making a ton of money, like that's kind of a cool thing for them. Baseball, they want to get creative that like you can lock in a playoff spot or you can lock in something that matters, which again, that there's a weird side of that you're starting to mess with the sanctity of 162 and everything we preach a lot. That I would have to hear all the theories, and then I guess where I get nervous is it feels like if you do that, getting out of it feels so hard to do that I don't know. I don't have fully formed thoughts on it yet.
I have a fully formed thought. No.
Okay.
Out.
Okay.
I think we actually have a great all-star game. So like I don't want to replace that. I do like that. The only in-season tournament I'm interested in is the Olympics. I'm very curious to see how that goes. They already kind of have one with the WBC that happens every 3 years. So like, let's keep that. I think we're in a good place with our tournaments. Okay. in our events, in season tournament that you just win like a thumbs up. Like, no, I'm out on that, coach. I'm out. 162 is interesting to me though, because I played a lot of 162s. I do feel like it's a little long, and it hasn't always been 162. I believe since 1962, it's been 162.
Nice, Trev.
But 154 was the norm for a long time. And can we get there? I think a lot of players will be into that. There are some negatives towards players, like, probably means less call-ups in a way. It means possibly less revenue for teams, which could trickle down into player salaries.
Right.
But 154 and having like every Monday off, I think feels right to me. It feels right to me. Like, take a breather. And scarcity is king, man. Like, anything that's like very popular, it's scarcity. It's the reason football is so damn popular.
Yeah, the 154 gets really interesting to me, just with and Trev, this might not help, but it's for pitchers. Like, the way bullpens get used, I think it was in Jimmy's plan that everyone agreed on. And make sure you go check out that breakdown if you haven't. I think he had the American League had Mondays off and the National League had Thursdays off. And that really made my head spin in a good way because, dude, with the amount we use bullpens and the amount of creatures of habits that athletes are and we are as fans, like, watching baseball every day is kind of grindy. That if you could start scheduling a day in your week that your team isn't going to play, and maybe you can also highlight the other league on that day, like, NL Mondays could be kind of lit. AL Thursdays, Thirsty Thursdays, dollar beers with Dalt tonight. I think there's something with where the game is at. Like, dude, bullpens are going to get used. Like, there's nothing we're ever going to be able to combat it. I know we've talked about multi-inning bullpens, but bullpens are here. They're going to be so here forever. We were laughing. We have a magazine here with the 2003 Yankees rotation. Just a hilarious picture, eh? George Steinbrenner in the middle of his 5 starting pitchers. Hell fucking yeah.
I know more of that. More front-facing owners. That's right.
Ooh, we do. You've been on that. We do need a celebrity owner. Dude, I forgot how much you cooked during the expansion episode. You had owners lined up for the teams. That was awesome. Bullpens are going to be used that if you can factor in that off day every week, like, that might be healthier for bullpen arms. You can, I don't know. There's definitely something there. But the way that those 8 games would be negotiated over, I feel like would be so ugly that to see a league cut back on games, I feel like we're too gone as an American economy for owners to sign off on that. Whoa.
Interesting. I don't know, man. I mean, 8 games? What are we talking about? What's the lost revenue in 8 games if it creates a better product?
We don't know.
Okay.
Do you want to hear?
I'm also fine with 162. I mean, like, I'm not like hating on 162. It is a grind. I think baseball is a sport that you need a lot of games. It is. I'm just saying, you get rid of 8 games, coach.
Right.
Manfred doesn't go into how many games a year or anything like that, but do you want to hear his thoughts on realignment and expansion?
Yes, I do.
Need it.
I would like to expand. I think 32 would be good for us. And, fundamentally, it's a lot of cities like to have Major League Baseball. When people want your product, you ought to try to, find a way to sell it to them. It's kind of basic. Number one.
So do it from the top. And again, we joke about becoming MLB shills, and I'm saying I want to have beers with Manfred. Just listen to his talking pattern in this. Is this not like... I think he used to get made fun of for this because he'd be doing press conferences where you expect someone to be talking professionally. He talks like a dude at a bar. Do it again.
I would like to expand. I think 32 would be good for us. And, fundamentally, it's a lot of cities like to have Major League Baseball. When people want your product, you ought to try to, find a way to sell it to them. It's kind of basic. Number one. Number two, it does a ton of for us from a format perspective. You would realign, you would do it along geographic lines, which could alleviate a ton of the travel burden that's on players. So if you realign geographically, you would look more like other sports where you play up east into the World Series and west into the World Series. I think if you did it, you'd probably be 8-4s, right? Okay. And I think you would try to keep the two team cities separate.
Trev?
As far as having beers with Rob Manfred, I do it. I want to take him out on the golf course and give him a spanking out there. He's a 12. We looked it up.
I came inside at baseball.
So you'd want to keep him in check a little bit.
The problem is I might lose him because I'm not exactly some awesome golfer.
Right, Rob might turn it on for a couple holes, and now he's got you alphaed.
Yeah, if he alphas me on the golf course, I don't know what I'll do.
By the way, we should probably just have him on the show. I think we can do that.
Rob, if you want to take me out to Wingfoot, I'm in,
Also in, as is Rob. Dalton probably out. It's okay.
I'll take you to Calabasas Country Club, Rob. Come on.
Okay, this got far away from expansion.
What are we talking about? About realignment, expansion?
I guess the two interesting things for me is he throws out the 8-team thing very flippantly, oh yeah, we wouldn't do the pods of 4. We would do
they've talked about it a lot before.
And I guess zooming out, which I've said probably too many times, zooming out, Rob Manfred, the commissioner of baseball, was on a national radio show saying, 32 teams. That's real.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah.
I know we've already done this, but that's real. That's crazy.
Everybody knows that's coming. It's just where the teams are going to be. I'm totally in for the realignment. I do like regional matchups. I'd have to have him kind of sell me on the no 2 city teams playing in the same league. I want to know why you do that. I think it's cool to have the two, the city have to go up against each other.
I did think that was interesting that you thought that was something they were almost going to capitalize on, and it seems like they're shying away from that, which I don't fully know what that is. And yeah, I'm kind of with you.
Because right now, the Chargers and the Rams, I'm just thinking about this from that perspective. They play in the same building, Jake, and the Clippers and the Lakers, same thing. When they're playing at Staples, now Crypto Arena. Were the Lakers and Clippers were also in different conferences, correct? Or were they not?
I mean, they're both in the Western Conference.
So they were together then.
They're in the Western Conference. I don't know about the same division. I'm not great with that with NBA.
Yeah, I'm not either.
It's never felt like it mattered.
Let's just go football.
Okay.
I feel like the Chargers would benefit greatly if they got to play the Rams in a division game. Right now, the Chargers are a forgotten team in LA. I promise you that.
Yeah.
They'd benefit greatly if it was hey, this is a divisional matchup against the Rams.
Be nice if Joe Alt was out there too to help Herbert. No, you're absolutely right. If the Rams and Chargers played 2 games every year, and the Chargers then could have an uprising fan base, kind of like the Clippers do now. My guy Adam Devine, he's courtside.
Clippers and Lakers are in the Pacific Division.
Okay,
that makes a lot of sense because they're very geographical in the NBA, right?
Yes, that's how they have it laid out. Okay.
Except for Oklahoma City in the Western Conference.
Yeah, I mean, that middle of the country gets tricky. I think they made the right choice.
I think so.
Let's I know there's some other Uncle Rob quotes. I think we could pocket them for now because we've been cranking, and we still have to give the people our SeatGeek off-season free agent forecast brought to you by SeatGeek. We keep tabs on the players, on the moves this offseason. Trev, I know I gave some warm stove at the start of this. We're a week removed from Kyle Tucker and Bo Bichette rumors would have led this show, and here we are about an hour deep. Kyle Tucker, and this is kind of what we were guessing, but supposedly the Mets have offered $50 million per season on a short-term 3-year contract. I think there was also Dodger rumors that they're at 4 years for a similar price. Very interesting. And Ken Rosenthal is saying that, the smoke is picking up on Tucker. He wouldn't be surprised if a signing happens this week or soon. What was that?
Well, I'm actually going to one up Ken Rosenthal. I wouldn't be surprised if it happens today, tomorrow, next week, or next month.
Damn, dog. Why you got to dunk on the homie like that?
I just think it's a hilarious quote.
No, it was. As I was reading the quote, I was like, what?
Sometime soon?
That's a bail. That's a bail on a quote. For a pretty calculated guy, that's him bailing mid-sentence. I agree. I'm sorry, Kenny. I love you. Short Kings for life, but you bailed on that one. And then Bichette meets with your Phillies, which the second you heard that, you kind of got H'd up because you're like, this lines up perfectly. I don't know. We'll see. There's Boston supposedly is up their offer. These are the two big hitters left. Crazy we don't add Eugenio Suarez. I guess where are you at with the whole
or Ranger?
Yeah. Where are you at with the AAA stuff?
Okay, so
AAV
stuff?
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you this question. I threw it at Chris Rose, hypothetical. You're Kyle Tucker. Rumors are, like, this is kind of like unfair that this keeps getting brought up to him, but like the rumors are out there that he's like not like a baseball rat type guy. I don't know him personally. I never played with him.
Right.
You know, like, have I heard things? Like, maybe.
Mm.
But just say you're not.
Right.
10 years, like, is a long time to continue playing baseball. It's a long time. 8 years is a long time to continue playing baseball, especially if you're not in love with it. Some guys, I just read that Bryce Harper almost on a 20-year deal with the Phillies. Like, the guy loves the game. It's all he wants to do. There are people like that, and there are people that aren't like that. Like, I never was a guy that was like, I'm going to play till I'm dead. I never was like that. I loved the game, but like, I also like loved stuff outside the game. So like, I'm like, oh gosh, I think I'm more like Kyle Tucker than like a Alex Bregman or a Bryce Harper.
Checking in on yourself. I like that.
Yeah, that stings. Although I'm still working in baseball, so maybe I'm just an idiot. And I was
I think if you
really
were
hard for me, and I wasn't that good. How about
no
that?
offense, I think if you were still raking, I think you'd be fine still playing. I don't know. You do like love your family and shit.
Some of my mentors, like Josh Willingham, he passed on a $4 million contract. He's like, I'm done. I don't want to play anymore.
Big
Like,
Willie style.
I think a lot of like the guys that I like looked up to, like, were like, yeah, definitely more like family guys. We're just like, yeah, I got mine. I'm gonna go be a dad now.
Yeah.
Whatever. What am I talking about right now?
This is real
My
life
question
advice.
to you, sheesh. My question to you, Jake,
Yes.
is if you're that kind of person, and like, yeah, like, you know, there was rumors floated around that you were gonna get 10 years, $400 million plus, or, you know, whatever the heck it was. But now you're thinking like, well, you know, that would have been nice, but yeah, 10 years is a lot. If I can get 3 years and I'm going to get $150 million, and then I could probably just like go away. Which would you rather have?
It depends on the person, and that's the whole conversation you're having. And I don't know.
Because also financially, which I know you're crushing it.
Yeah, thank you. Silver stock, 200%.
Like $150 million now, if you're getting it without deferrals, that 10-year deal surely would come with deferrals. Like, is it that big of a difference present day money and like things you could do with it when you have the money up front in a short amount of time?
Again, I shouldn't be the person probably talking to society about this, but I know there is an equation there. And I guess, like we've been talking about with the opt-outs, I think that would be an interesting part of the Tucker conversation. Because maybe Kyle Tucker doesn't know. Like, maybe he actually hits 33 and he's like, actually, I would hate not being at the field. Like, I don't know. I have no clue, but I know $50 million a year, going back to your salary cap or not having one. Like, no, it's really sick. And maybe this is where I should put my target at the NBA. NBA, when they're talking free agency and trades right now, it gets so ugly so quick. You have to like know the CBA. There's a bunch of weird rules that tie in. And at a certain point, think just nothing's on the table. Kyle Tucker at $50 million a year is on the table. Kyle Tucker for 1 year, $65 million on the table. And that's kind of, I do think that's a beautiful thing the sport has that they should not lose.
Agreed.
Nice. Full tie-in.
$50 million.
$50 million for a year
We're
of
talking
playing
like
baseball.
We're talking like, yeah, like have those rumors of him being like that, like if that really hurt him?
I think, and this is pure opinion, and it ties into Bregman's contract, and it ties in baseball, not a copycat league. There's a lot of similar analytics guys in every team's front office. And I think all the analytics guys have started to realize that those long-term contracts just don't work.
Well, dude, starting to realize that's crazy. Like you
Hey, dude,
were paying to get those guys on your team for the 5 years that it was going to work and the 2 years at the end that it wasn't. You just deal with it.
The New York Yankees in the year of 2022 had all right-handed hitters because their smart people said, well, they can reach the short port as righties. Well, so can all the lefties. So sometimes we give these nerds a little too much credit.
I was talking about that before the show, Coach.
I think for years they thought that keeping the AAV down for longer years was the smart move. And I think recently they were like, actually, let's just pay them while they're good. I think sometimes we just move too fast or not fast enough, or nerds aren't that smart. Except when they saved Trevor's life on the airplane. That matters to me. And I told people that story.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I don't know.
You got struck by lightning in the sky, dog.
I'm here. I feel like I got to recharge. I'm going to the gym right after this. I already got my gym clothes on. I don't want to get into like analytics. I'm a big proponent of data-driven decisions, but sometimes, Coach, you just got to find the right guys. Sometimes, Coach, you got to overpay a little bit to get the right guy on your team. And you'll worry about that 6 year later.
And that was life advice. Kyle Tucker signs with.
I think it depends on Bellinger.
Yeah.
Like Mets seem great, but if the Mets decide, hey, we want Bellinger and he signs with them, then Kyle Tucker's going to be looking for a seat.
I'll go Dodgers. Why not?
There's the rumor out there the Dodgers are not even close to 50 a year. Short term still, but they're like, yeah, come play on our team. We're going to win the World Series.
Hey, dog. Why don't you
So if that's the case, then it's the Mets. Because if he's going to take, and I'm assuming this is going to be a 3-year, $140 million deal, maybe 150 if that's true, with opt-outs after every single one. And the Mets will be like, yeah, sure.
Yeah. Him and Soto? Okay. All right, people. That was Wednesday, January 14th. We will, hey, I think if Bo or Tucker, where are the Framber and Ranger rumors?
Yeah.
That we might come live to you if we can.
Jake sucks. I got to make this point really quickly. Framber Valdez put out a 20-minute video explaining why he's not a bad teammate. Why isn't Kyle Tucker going on a tour saying, I love ball. I want to play ball. Dispel the rumors. Who's your agent? Who's giving you advice? You're losing $100 million or more. Get out in front of it.